Back with another Savage stream. Thanks to everyone, all you rock stars out there that are liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. Getting a lot of comments nowadays on the videos that I'm doing almost every day. That's why I put in my little title there, or my artwork. I put almost every day crypto mining videos. So every now and then I miss a day. But a couple of days ago, I did a video on, it was basically why, I don't even have it up here for some reason, but it was why run your own node, right? So I went through, it was 33, it ended up being 33 minutes worth of why you should run your own Bitcoin node. And I said that if the video got a certain number of likes, whatever, 30 likes or whatever, that I would do a video on how to actually run your own node. So that's what this video is about. So we are not going to waste any time. Basically though, you know, like you hear about running your own node, just saying run your own node sounds like a whole lot of work to some people, right? There is a little bit of work up front, but once it's up and running, you may never have to touch it again unless there's some crazy update or hardware failure, or maybe you need a larger hard drive or something like that, or maybe just a lockup that requires a reboot or a power cycle. I had to do that once with my node so far. It's only been running about a month, maybe a little bit less, and I did have to restart it one time. It was just locked up and I couldn't get to it. So could have been power related. I don't know for sure. But the cool thing about this particular product here is that it's free. It's called Umbrel. I think it's Umbrel. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the logo is an umbrella, so I'm assuming that you should say it's pronounced about the same way. But Umbrel it's getumbrel.com, and this is I've researched a little bit on running my own node, and I've actually done it a different way before. And whenever I was researching it this time, I was like, man, you know, I kept seeing Umbrel, and I was like, okay, let me check this out. So I go and check it out, and I'm like super impressed. And like I said in that why video, it is so easy. It's embarrassing, especially for a tech guy, you know, someone who works in IT. This is super embarrassingly easy. So hopefully you guys will agree with that. I think you will once you see the whole process here. So the product itself is free. The software is free, but the hardware isn't. We're going to talk about the hardware in a minute. But you know, as far as like the difference between running your own node, this kind of solidifies a little bit that I was talking about the other night in the why video. So whenever you're running your own node, you know, this is like an example of what happens without Umbrel. This is what happens. You know, your wallet connects to other servers, or a wallet server, however you want to put it. And then what this actually does is that kind of exposes your information, your potential IP address, all kinds of cool information gets in there that the server can document, log, whatever. Now, these servers that are out here on the internet are essentially just random. They're just nodes on the internet, right? Other BTC nodes. And, I mean, in this case, I guess it's kind of saying that these are the nodes over here, okay? But you're connecting to the internet, to another node, and not running your own so that you are connecting directly to it. And that's kind of like what this graphic here shows. Your wallet connected to the server, and then that server connects to the nodes. And whenever you're running your own node with Umbrel, you can see that it's connected directly to your own personal node, and you're not feeding any information to a third party, right? That's essentially what is going on here. And they probably have it free. I would assume that it's free software just to have, you know, so that everyone can jump on board with as little friction as possible. It's like a really low barrier of entry for knowledge, or even the hardware. The hardware is pretty cheap. It's not super cheap, but it's doable if you're interested in running your own node. And that's why I made the why video first, so that you could kind of get an idea of why you would want to do this before you embark on actually doing it. Another cool thing is you can connect your wallets to the node, right? We kind of talked about this up here. You know, one of them that's supported that I like is Ledger, Trezor, I don't know how to pronounce that, and a whole host of other ones. I believe that you can actually connect your almost any wallet where you can modify the node that it's talking to. I believe that you can do it from almost any. I went into my Zelcore wallet, and I go to settings over here, and then I go to backend over here. I select the asset, which in this case is Bitcoin. Now, I haven't tested this. I don't know for sure if I'm able to. It looks fine, because I'm telling you, normally if something is wrong, like Zelcore is going to tell you, it's going to throw you an error or something. I put in the URL basically for my local node on my network here, and that's this right here, and it saved and worked, and everything seems to be okay. Now again, I haven't tested it. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's no errors in here that I can see, so I think that it might be good. If I go into Bitcoin, you know, it's here. So I mean, I haven't tried to send anything, so I haven't verified it 100%. But just understand that it looks like that is possible. So you connect to your wallet, to your node, and then you are good to go. It says here that you can get up and running in 5 minutes. I would say that it's almost, yeah, that's almost true. Once you get the hardware straightened out, once you get your hardware installed, set up, and powered on, yeah, I would say you could probably be up and running in 5 minutes. Probably the hardest part for everybody will be the hardware, I would imagine. But it's super easy. I'm going to show you what I did. It's again, it's embarrassingly easy. And you can install Umbrel on many different devices. You can install it just straight Linux, you know, if you already have a hardware that supports it. But in our case, we're going to use the Raspberry Pi 4, and this is basically the way I did it. And don't let that, you know, intimidate you in any way with the Raspberry Pi. They're super easy devices, little computers. They got lots of huge capabilities, and they're getting better all the time. So it is very easy what we're trying to accomplish here. So a little bit more about why you would do this. They talk about it here on their website. You know, whenever you this is like a quick recap on what a node does. Whenever you query the network for balances or any other data the network is supposed to provide you as a Bitcoin user or someone trying to transact on the Bitcoin network, if you aren't running your own node and connecting to that node, then what you're doing is you are relying on other nodes to feed you that information. You're basically trusting a third party whenever that's not the intention for Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is peer-to-peer, no trusted third parties. So essentially, you will want to run your own node if you are going to be a true Bitcoiner. And did you know that surveillance companies and government intelligence agencies are running their own nodes as well? So whenever you broadcast your requests out on the network through just a random, you know, hey, here's my wallet, I'm trying to conduct a transaction, I need to talk to a node, you are actually revealing your IP and potentially all the transactions from that wallet and any future wallets that you may have that are potentially connected to that wallet. For example, if you have two wallets, one that's like cold storage, one that's you know, hot wallet or whatever, then you know, they'll be able to most likely through analysis identify both of those wallets. So running your own node also allows you to be able to vote on what version of Bitcoin you are running by choosing to upgrade or not. A good example would be, like, let's say that some Bitcoin nodes agreed to increase the maximum supply of Bitcoin to infinity, right? Well, whenever that happens, you know, the GitHub has to be updated with that software, and then you, as the user, get to choose whether or not you want to run that version of Bitcoin or not. So, you know, obviously the majority will not, but there might be some that do. That's how you end up with forks like Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, all those different forks of Bitcoin. I think there's 50 or so. I don't know. There's at least 25, but I know that there's a lot that have forked Bitcoin for that purpose, or because of something like that, some disagreement with how it is being developed. Okay. So also leaving a node running for 24 hours a day helps the network. You know, the only way that you can really destroy Bitcoin is for all the nodes to be offline. When you run your own node, it's an empowering thing because you are the node. It is you on the network. You run it, you own it, you connect to it. You can be sure that, you know, you are not broadcasting your private information across the network. So just a real quick overview of why you would want to do this. So some other really cool things that this software actually provides is it's got a built-in Lightning client or Lightning network. I have not messed with this a lot, but it is in the interface and you can see it very easily. So I'm going to play around with it, but I just haven't yet. So yeah, it even includes its own Lightning network interface, which is super cool. Also, it has privacy by default. It runs everything, all the services run on the Tor network, which Tor stands for the Onion Router, and that is basically a privacy network layer on top of the internet where your identity is hidden. Whenever you're surfing, I think there's like 3 different nodes that it goes through. Like, let's say you go to a website on the Tor network, then it crosses 3 different nodes, and basically the 3rd node is the one that's actually being served up the website, and then that node sends it back through the channels back to you, but the website does not know who you are at all because it only knows what that 3rd node is. So that's the only, because of how TCP/IP works, this was able to be established as a privacy method for transacting or for browsing the network. And all of the services that run on the Umbrella actually use Tor for privacy. So that is super cool. That was a good option that they put in there. Oh, and let me say this, I keep forgetting this type of stuff. This is not sponsored. This is just, I found these guys, I found this software on the network whenever I was looking at setting up my own node. That's it. I haven't talked to these people. I don't know anything about, I don't even know where the company's actually out of. I'm not sponsored at all. I'm not, this is just me yapping about stuff that I'm interested in, right? So let's see, what else we got? It also does Lightning backups, automatic backups, and you can access it from anywhere using a Tor-enabled browser. I haven't looked at this too much. I'm sure that there's probably just an address that it provides you somewhere in the interface to be able to do this. You can see that the crazy addresses that you get for the Onion network here, and it's free and open. So yeah, they got their GitHub here. The GitHub talks a little bit more about the software. You know, it gives a little bit more complicated way of installing it. You know, in my opinion, there is a much easier way. But if you are, you know, somewhat tech savvy, you could get over here and actually do it from their GitHub. Let me check the chat, make sure that we are all good to go. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, smash that like. What's up, Dan Dane? What's up, Crypto Fox, Phantom Spaceman, Pocket Change? What's up, man? You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let me throw this link to their GitHub in the chat. All right, so let's go ahead and go to their process here. So there's a little bit more information down here, but just some tweets and whatnot. So I'm going to scroll back up here on this page. I'm going to go to the How to Install button here. So then it opens up a little window inside of the web page, which is cool. Let me throw you this link over there as well. Oh, I've been asked a question. Hang on. What is the question? Yeah, Crypto Fox. I would imagine that, you know, honestly, I don't know. Like you mean inside of Windows 10, for example? Like a Linux virtual machine inside of Windows 10? I don't know about that. I would assume that you could. They do talk about running it on Windows and stuff like that, but I never looked at doing it that way because I knew that I was going to be a separate device. I didn't want it running on my PC, you know. So I knew from the get-go that I was going to use a Raspberry Pi in my case. But yeah, let me know. I mean, if you do it that way, let me know if it works or not. It's possible. All right, so it says right here, get everything ready. Raspberry Pi, 1 terabyte hard SSD. In my case, I just have an external hard drive that is not really an SSD. I think that they probably mention SSD because of the speed and whatnot, but I don't know if it's actually required. I got a fairly, there's some throughput that you need, and I cannot remember it off the top of my head, but the external hard drive that I got met that requirement, and I just don't remember what the requirement was. You would have to, I think on some of the websites where they have resources for setting up your own Bitcoin node will say, hey, you need a hard drive that has a certain number of throughput, right? A certain number of bandwidth, and that's where you would have to Google that. I just don't have it right in front of me. So they're saying 1 terabyte. The current Bitcoin blockchain is like 317 gig right now, you know, and that's over 10 years, 11 years, so 12 years actually. You know, you can kind of estimate how long or what size drive you need. Do you need a terabyte right now? Probably not. You could probably get by with a 500 gig, but you know, for a little bit of expansion and growth, you just go ahead and get a 1 terabyte. They're not that expensive these days. It talks about an SSD enclosure for that SSD. Again, I'm just using an external hard drive, platter drive. That's it. And 16 gig micro SD, power supply. They mention that if some of the kits that you buy, like the what are they called? It's what I use actually, Cana kit or something like that. Sometimes the power supply isn't what is preferred for a Raspberry Pi. For whatever reason, they mess up the power supply in those kits. So they recommend that you get an actual Raspberry Pi power supply. I think they're like $12. So that's an additional cost, but it does come in the kit. I'm currently still running the one that's in the kit. But I haven't, maybe that was my problem with having to restart. I don't know, but I did order a Raspberry Pi specific power supply, and it's on its way. All right, you also need an Ethernet cable. Could you do this wirelessly? Maybe. I would not. I knew from the get-go I was going to be plugging up hardwire to the network. And then you also need a case for the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so here's what I got. All right, this is the kit that I got, and you can see that it does come with a power supply and everything that you need. I got the 8 gig version. I think you could probably get away with the 4 gig version. I think the requirements are at least 4 gig. So I went ahead and got the 8. It was only $20 more. So in my mind, I justified that somehow. All right. So that is the kit that I ordered. You can see here, yeah, Cana kit. It's kind of like a cheating way of doing it. You know, if you're a true Raspberry Pi guy, you wouldn't do it this way. You would just buy all the parts that you wanted separately and all customize it and everything. Well, that's not me. I just don't have time for that. So, you know, I just bought the kit and put it together, and that's the end of it. So, super easy, really easy. I definitely put the fan on the top because I know that this it fits up inside of here. It will get hot. This thing runs, you know, 24/7, so there is some heat issues there. The kit also comes with a SD card that you need, power switch. It comes with the micro SD card, HDMI cable, micro HDMI, so on and so forth. It's a good kit. I like them. This is the second one I've bought. The first one I think was a Pi 3 a little while back. So yeah, and CryptoFox is mentioning 3D printing. You can like do really crazy cool cases for, there's so much stuff out there that you can do. you know, really cool stuff with 3D printing for sure. So check that out. That is the hardware that we're using, or that I used. Let's get back over here. That's the hardware. So let's go back to their website. Okay, so we're going to click on next. Then it says download the Umbrella OS, which I've already done. It's right here. Okay, so it looks like it is 1 gig roughly. So you want to download that. Okay, got that. Then we are going to download and install Balena Etcher. Now for the mining community, if you are doing this as a miner, you probably already have Balena Etcher because you need it for things like HiveOS, Simple Mining, NiceHash, you know, all those different operating systems that you flash to a USB drive. So Balena Etcher, you can look it up, Google it, whatever. I already have it. So you would download and install that. That's the next thing you would do because you're going to use that to burn the image. Then you are going to plug the micro SD card into your computer. Now, you know, if you don't have a reader in your computer itself, a lot of people do. I don't. I've got a somewhat of a gaming PC that I don't game on. So I just have this little device here that is a multi-card reader, and it has a USB-C connection on one end and a regular USB connection on the other. So you're able to, you know, pretty flexible, right? So you're going to plug that SD card that came with the kit, mine came with the kit, into here, like that, into the appropriate slot. I'm going to connect it to the PC through USB-C. So you'll see it probably pop up in there. I don't know what's on this drive. Actually, the one that I'm showing here, I have no idea what's on it. It might actually be... That's not showing up in here. Huh. Okay. Oh, we'll see. It definitely... you know, you heard the sound. So we'll see what happens whenever we get to it. So that's the next step. And then we're going to click Next. We're going to start Balena Etcher. So I'm going to do that. Balena Etcher looks like this. Then we are going, does it say, let's see, flash the download. Okay, yeah. So the next step will be to select the image. We're going to go to where we downloaded it. And I was already there. And then go to the image, select the target. Yeah, it's 64. Okay, so I don't know why it didn't automatically show that up. This is my backup drive. Okay, so that's probably it, I hope. I don't have anything else plugged into my computer other than that, so it has to be right. Double check that. Yeah, there's nothing else in here. Okay, so, I mean, you could always disconnect it and see if this goes away, but I think we're good. Although I'm still kind of weird. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, so I don't know what this is. This is actually probably Umbrella, actually. Or maybe it's a different version, but anyway. So then we're going to go continue, and then flash. And usually large for a SD card or USB stick. Okay, fine. All right, you would click continue there. I'm not going to because I don't need to burn it. But that was basically the process. You have to wait on it to finish, right? Wait on it to finish flashing. Then you will remove that device from your computer, right? And if it doesn't automatically eject, like Balena Etcher, let me show you this setting in here. So if you have Balena Etcher and you want it to go ahead and eject whenever it's done, you can go over here to the tools and then just slide this over to eject on success and then click OK. That way, whenever it's done, you're able to just grab the drive and go, and you don't have to worry about properly ejecting the drive from your computer, you know, like we're all taught to do. All right, so I leave mine off because whenever you're burning a OS image like HiveOS, then you don't really want it to eject because there's some configuration files and stuff that you have to edit on the drive whenever you do that. So I leave mine, whoops, I don't know why I did that. I leave mine unchecked as far as eject. I don't want it to eject. All right, so the next step would be to insert the micro SD card in the Pi. All right, got that. There's just a little bitty slot on the back. I don't really have one. Do I have a Pi around here? Hang on a second. Thought I had another one. Hang on. All right, so this is a Pi 3, old one, and you'll take the, did I eject that? Let me make sure it's good to go here. All right, so you'll take the SD card and insert it into it's super small little slot on the back here. Pins up, I think. The way that goes. Yeah, pins up. So it'll look like that whenever it's in there. Okay. So once that's done, then let's get back over here to the instructions. All right. Let's see. So you put that in the Pi. Then you connect the SSD. They're calling it an SSD. You can do it that way as well through a USB cable interface. I've showed you mine before. It's like a Sabrent. You can get them off of Amazon super cheap if you do it that way. I did not. I did mine with an actual external hard drive, platter drive, regular HDD that is connected through USB. So you'll connect that. And this is what I really like about Umbrel here is the other ways, the more manual ways of doing this, you would have to get into the Pi remotely after you load the OS and set up the other hard drive, right? You had to go through all this stuff. This takes all that and it does it for you. So it makes it super easy. You don't even have to actually access the device initially at all. It's really neat. So do that, then you connect to the network, okay? Network cable, make sure you got good connectivity there. Then you power it on. Okay, so you wait a few minutes. Then, once you wait a few minutes, you should be able to go to umbrel.local on the same network. Okay, and whenever you do that, it comes up and looks like this. Now, initially it won't. It'll look a little bit different because it'll want you to set some stuff up. Now, this is super important because some of the steps in like whatever the screen is, I'm not going to have it here in front of you, but it's super easy. It walks you through everything, but it does make you write down your 24 words and all that stuff because you have a wallet here too. There's an address, a Bitcoin wallet, Lightning Network, and all that stuff in this interface. So you have to write down those 24 words, keep them safe, all that stuff. You know the drill with that. It makes you, I think it makes you verify it as well. So you can't just next through it. So take your time, do it right, write them down, store them in a safe place, all that. Okay. But once you get it up and running, I think it'll probably, I can't remember if it tells you, yeah, I want to say that you're able to get into it right away. Like once you get through that initial setup, I don't think that there's anything too complicated that it asks you. I think the hardest thing is just setting up the 24 words, your mnemonic phrase and all that. So yeah, I think that's it. Then you come in here. Oh, it'll have you set up a username and password, of course, too. So once you get that set up, it'll look like this. Whenever you log on, initially it will be, probably 0%, 0% synchronized. Actually, it will be 0%. And it will take, I want to say mine took a week, maybe like 8 days. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. It wasn't as slow as I thought it was going to be. You can see, that's not going to come up for some reason. This is the Umbrel here. And you can see that over time, like the first day was 128. So you can see like as it was grabbing the blockchain data and downloading it, you know, and then now it's like really hardly any traffic. So that is what happened there. So I am 100% synchronized there, so that's good. You can see here the Lightning wallet. There's apps. That's another thing that they got going on. I guess that there's apps that you can put on your phone or on the computer that can have you different ways of accessing this data or using the system at all. And it kind of gives you a really nice overview, you know, dashboard here of your system and your node. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know that. It shows you the blockchain size, 372 gig. Hash rate, cool. Size of the mempool. Yeah, I haven't even been in here once I turned it on and I let it synchronize, I kind of let it go. But you can see up here, you know, you've got the version that you're running, okay? So remember we talked about the versions, so that's where that is, what version of Bitcoin Core you're running. This allows you to interact with the Lightning Network, opening a channel and all that cool stuff there. Okay, so it only has one app in here, but it looks like, you know what, I probably downloaded that app. So you got all these other apps in here. I think they give you a way to accept Bitcoin if you're like in the business. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to investigate how to connect to my ledger, or how to connect my ledger essentially to our Ledger Live, the software, to my node. That'll be one of the next things I do. All right, let me check the chat, see what you guys are talking about over here. Max, yes, in a way, setting up a Lightning node as well. Although I haven't like configured it or anything, but it is part of, I haven't done anything other than this. It is part of the setup. And JP Miner, what can you do with the node? We kind of already talked about that as well. It's not something, this is something that people kind of misunderstand all the time. This is not financial, this is not, there's no financial incentive. What is that called? I'm missing the word. Anyway, you don't make any money from doing this, okay? This is not something that you get paid to do. There's no rewards, there's no mining rewards, because you're not mining. All you're doing is you're running a node and you're helping the network. That's it. So, yeah, maybe with Lightning nodes, possibly, that's a good point. Because if you are serving, you know, on the Lightning network, maybe there's fees involved in that, I would imagine. I don't know a lot about it, so I'm not going to start rambling on about something like that. I'm going to look into it though, because now that I see that it's here, I mean, I knew it was here before, but I'm going to look at setting that up and see what it takes. I know you have to load it up with some Bitcoin, and then that's what is used on the Lightning network. I get all that, but as far as like going through the process of actually doing it, I haven't done it yet. Yeah, I covered that. Crypto Fox, you're probably just answering somebody else's question there. Okay, cool. Yeah, seems like y'all are getting everybody up to speed on what we've already covered. That's cool. Yeah, I don't want to make this video too much longer because I want it to be, 30 minutes, around 30 minutes. So I'm going to get out of here. I think that I want to say that somebody else was possibly going live tonight. Don't remember. Let's find out. See if I got any notifications. You know how well YouTube provides everybody with notifications these days. All right, I don't see any of the regulars out here. Yeah, so it might not be anybody else going live. Maybe Max will fire up his channel. Talk about EIP 1559. He's talked about that since he's blue in the face. Until he's blue in the face. Thanks, Crypto Fox. I appreciate you bringing everybody up to speed. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully, this was entertaining, you know, and worth the little bit of rambling that I did there in the middle. You know, I'm telling you, it is so easy. This is just incredibly easy. It's almost frictionless. You saw what happened. I mean, I'm going to do a video. I'll show you like the node, like the hardware part of it. I just didn't hook up the camera before I started the stream, so I can't really do that. But maybe tomorrow night, if I remember, I will show you what it looks like sitting there. Because I took some, you know, Velcro, and I've got it. This used to be a Raven node actually. So I've got some Velcro, and I've got it, you know, connected to the, or attached to the hard drive, that external hard drive. So it's pretty slick looking. It's all one unit, you know, and it's fairly compact. So I think it's kind of cool. So we'll look at that maybe tomorrow night. And yeah, so if you thought that this was useful, entertaining, informative, whatever, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, all that cool stuff. You guys are awesome for hanging out and letting me talk some crypto with you tonight. I appreciate it. I will see y'all tomorrow night. Tomorrow is Crypto Fireball Friday. Don't know what we'll be talking about at all. Max, it is a little bit hot in there because it's in the vault. It's in the Savage vault with the other rigs. It is next to the rigs. So I need to watch the temperature. Although there's no, maybe that's something that they can add to this, like a temperature, and it might be in here, I just don't know, a way to monitor like temps and stuff like that. Because it might actually be what happened to it before, why it locked up before. So, I don't know. Max Voltage's channel. Why can't I get to your channel from your... That's weird. Yeah, it should just be max voltage, I would imagine. It's not showing me like go to your channel for some reason. All right, anyway, might be a setting that you got in there. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, thanks, Pocket Change. Awesome, man. Good setting for Ravencoin 405. Memory negative 502 minus 502 and core 0, I think. And that's it. Actually, hang on. Because it's Call-Pow now. That was the old days. I'll have to look. I know that I get a feeling, because I'm seeing so much chatter about Ravencoin right now. I'm probably going to start doing some more content on them. I did a lot way back when. I mean, assets, how to mine. I did all that stuff. And there are videos on my channel here for Call-Pow and overclock settings and all that. So it's probably already there. It's probably just a dated video. It's maybe last year sometime. Actually, it would definitely be last year, maybe even the year before. I don't know. So we'll have to see. Crypto Fox, it's probably his channel. He is kind of a comedian. Just kidding, Max. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm probably going to start doing some more Raven content pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys. Y'all are making me ramble on, and I'm getting distracted by the chat. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Stay savage, everybody.